Hey YouTube! So today I am talking about Pride. World Pride 2014 just happened in Toronto. It was a crazy party. If you weren't there, I'm so sorry. If you were there, I'm sorry I missed you. But it was non-stop, a week, actually 10 days of like pure party, culture, entertainment, acceptance, performers, like everything from drag shows to just on the street mayhem, including myself with a water gun full of tequila. Like, it was just so much fun, but it brought me back to remembering that not everybody is open and understanding, not everybody is out. And I think a lot of the people who watch my channel and a lot of people who read my fashion blog are young and they're not out yet. And if you know, if you are gay and if you're young, I know how hard it is. I was there once and it sucks. So I thought, what a better time to tell you my coming out story and let you know a little bit about the history of me and where I came from and how much being honest with myself has changed my life for the better. So I'll start with when I was in high school, which is pretty much when everything began. I was dating people in junior high, like girls a lot, and then in high school I just stopped because I was just like, this doesn't feel right. Like I don't like continually breaking up with them and then being all sad about it and me getting really like nothing out of it except for like a lot of good friends. So in high school I had one last girlfriend, and then she actually, and then anyways we broke up and we're still friends to this day, but she actually introduced me to this guy because I told her after, I was like, listen, I think I'm bisexual, like, don't hate me. It's not why we broke up, but kind of was. And so she introduced me to this guy and she was like, listen, I want you to meet. And so she set it up and I met him and he was a total goofball, and but we were both really young. I think I was like 17 or 18 and so was he. So anyways, we started dating. And I think we dated for like 2 weeks, which was like, you know, and I thought he was really weird. And anyways, but this one night we got together and it just so happened that we, you know, went into the person that we were staying's bedroom and fooled around a little bit, and it was like fireworks. I'd never felt that way ever before. And I was like, okay, something's right here. This feels right. So I knew he wasn't the right one, but I knew that you know, I was definitely into men. So I left thinking, okay, I'm gay. Like that's it. I'm gonna tell people, but it was kind of a scary moment because then you're like, okay, I know I'm gay, but now I'm faced with this thing about telling everyone. You know, my family, my friends, how are they gonna react? It was so scary. Like beyond, like the most terrifying thing. It was my biggest secret, and even though probably really everyone knew I was so feminine, but whatever. So first thing, I told my ex-girlfriend, who obviously hooked me up with that guy, and she was like, well, you know, it's my duty to tell everyone, and you know, you're coming with me. Are you okay with that? And I'm, you know, being like kind of brave, was like, yeah, okay, let's like, what's the worst that can happen? So I remember specifically, she went up to this one guy and he was a total jock, and she was like, oh hey, you know, his name is Jay. Hey Jay, like, do you know that Mark is gay? And he was like, oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, what do you think of my like big cock-sucking lips? And I was like he thinks this is a joke. And she's like, no Jay, like, for real, Mark is gay, like he's fully gay, he likes men. And he was like, oh yeah, that's cool, just don't look at my lips. So anyways, he took it pretty well, and so did most people who took it. Like a lot of people, like I said, just were like, yeah, I already knew. Some people just, you know, I didn't lose any friends over it, let's say that. And the people, I did gain a lot of friends, because a lot of people really respected the fact that at that time I was the only person who was gay in the whole high school. So that was kind of a big thing. Terrifying for me at times, just from the thought that your mind goes over it and you get anxiety and it's stupid and whatever. But all in all, everybody pretty much accepted it. My family was also really good about it. I told my mom first, and she said, you know, I kind of always knew, like, it's not a big thing. I still love you, so that was sweet. And then I said to her, I was like, do you mind telling my brother and my dad, because I don't know how they're gonna react. They're manly men. Like, my dad's like a welder and you know, warehouse manager, and my brother was like, you know, also he just graduated, but he's like, you know, rough and tumble, and like, we're from Alberta, and if you know about Alberta, they're known for like oil and like horses or something. So anyways, it's rough. And so so my mom told my brother, and he was fine with it, and my dad was fine with it. And but what was kind of interesting was that a couple of years later, my brother was like, you know, that really hurt me that you couldn't tell me, and that you know, just the relationship that we have and stuff, like, you know, I must have been a big asshole for you not to be able to tell me. And of course that wasn't the case at all. Like, I was totally just petrified, and it's stupid now looking back. Like, I should have just, you know, told him, and I know he would have just been like, whatever, but he would say things like, oh, that's gay, or that guy's a fag, and I know, like, he didn't mean it, like, that guy's a homosexual, so I dislike that. Like, it's just something that people say, and I know that's becoming less and less, which is great, but I mean, this was 10 years ago, so he was, you know, it just was something that people said, so I was scared. But anyway, so remember that, you know, for all of you guys at home who might be wondering or thinking about telling your family, like, I highly recommend, if I were to do it again, I would tell everybody myself. I wouldn't let other people tell anybody else. I would just say it myself, because you know, if they need to know, then you're gonna tell them, or you're gonna want them to know. If you know, like your family members and so forth, it's good for you to just tell them. Moving on with my life, a couple of years later, I ended up meeting this guy, and I was a cheerleader in high school, so like, surprise, I was gay. And this guy was a cheerleader on a competing cheerleading team, and they were like really, really good. So I always looked up to them, and this guy was on the cheerleading team. And I looked across and I was like, wow, who's that? And I was introduced, and a little while later we ended up meeting again, and I had a boyfriend at the time, and he basically broke us up to get together with me. Which was, you know, whatever. It was fine because the relationship was terrible anyways. So we were together for about a year, and he asked me to move in with him. And I was totally nervous, as anybody would be, to move in with someone out of your parents' house, to move in with a guy that you love. And so I took the plunge, and I said, yeah, you know, I'm sleeping over there all the time anyway, so fine. And so I moved in with him, and then a few years later there was an anti-gay marriage rally, because gay marriage at the time wasn't approved yet in Canada, and it was a big issue. So him and I actually went together to this rally and were photographed in the journal, the Edmonton Journal, saying Adam and Steve, you know, eat for equal rights, and we were on the front page kissing Adam and Steve. So we were kind of known through the community in Edmonton in a funny way, and a little while after, gay marriage was approved in Canada, and it was a few years after that we decided to get married. So I proposed to him in Paris when we were there, and he luckily said yes, and then a year later, we got married in Edmonton on June 13th, which we started dating on Friday the 13th in June, so it was kind of this cyclical anniversary thing that we do. And just this past June 13th was our 11-year anniversary. So I am extremely happy, and I couldn't have done it unless I was true to myself. So for everybody out there, my message is, just be honest with yourself, and it gets so much better. It gets so much better. So, sorry, I had to take a moment there. But just to recap everything, World Pride here in 2014 for Toronto was North America's first Pride, World Pride, and it was so intense. It was like 3 million people. Everyone was just like full of love, and now is such an amazing time to be yourself and just love whoever you love and be whoever you are, because you can be. So yeah, lots of love, and as usual, thanks for watching. So please subscribe for more videos of me blabbering away like my blog, and you know, I'm here talking about fashion on a weekly basis. I'm here talking about men's beauty and tips and tutorials. So subscribe and like this video.